gustas, tú haz las fotos primero y ya. Para la foto, a ver si queremos hacer una portada. Hola, ¿qué tal? Bienvenidos sean todos ustedes aquí al Makossa Disco, a través ya sea de Ibero 90.9 o a través del canal de YouTube de Many Moods. Yo soy Davo Peñalosa y tengo mucha felicidad, mucha alegría y mucha dicha de el día de hoy estar aquí con una leyenda viviente que viene desde las tierras cariocas, desde Río de Janeiro. Tenemos aquí al mismísimo Marcos Valle, gracias a la gente de Pistilo y de Jazz is Dead, visitando México.
Muito prazer, muito obrigado, muitas graças. Thank you very much. It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure to be here.
For us, it's a pleasure, Marcos.
Thank you, my friend.
To be here. We are so excited. For the first time in Mexico?
Second, I was here a long time ago. There was a festival, international music festival in 74.
74?
74, or maybe I'm wrong, 72. It was an international festival, and I came here, and I represent Brazil. I think I got the fourth place. It was incredible, because the jury, it was Quincy Jones and guys like that. It was an incredible festival. But after that, I never returned. So I'm very glad that I'm here again.
Wow, so many times.
Yeah, so many
time has passed.
Yes, man.
And now you're here, not even for vacation,
no,
holiday, not
unfortunately.
Even.
You know, I travel a lot, but my wife always said, well, we just travel to work, never for fun. Which is not true, because I have a lot of fun when I'm touring with music. But for some reason, I was not here anymore. So now I'm very glad to be here again, and I hope to be back other times.
For sure. Wow, so many time after you're here, and the time has passed, the music has passed. You have changed your different styles, because in the 60s you started with all the Tropicalia, the Bossa Nova, and all this more traditional Brazilian music.
Yeah.
But then you in some way changed or evolved your sound, and that's where I would love to talk with you about that evolution when you, I don't know if the word is discovered or found or I don't know how to say it, funk, disco, boogie, because that was the changing point from for your career.
Yeah.
Because you were still having your sound from the 60s and early 70s, but then you discovered funk. I know that you went to the States, and maybe there's where you discovered, but do you remember on those years when you listened for the first time funk, or how was your first approach to this kind of music?
You are right. I'm going to try to explain why all this happened. Since I was very young, 4 years old, I was very interested in music. I had one side, my grandmother, they used to play the classic piano, so I used to listen to Ravel, Debussy, Chopin, and everybody. And my father, who was a lawyer, he loved the popular music. So since then, I was listening both kinds of music and very interested in music. So after that, when I was growing up, I would listen for different things. The traditional music of Brazil, not only samba, baião, some funk things, some soul music. You know, Marvin Gaye, you know, all these people.
The Motown,
jazz, also a lot of jazz, and also those singers, Sinatra, and you know, a lot of people, you know, Little Richard in the rock scene, you know. A lot of things. So I got all this influence in my music since I started. When I started professionally in 62, I was very influenced by Bossa Nova, because Bossa Nova was most recent. So I was considered the second generation of Bossa Nova. But all those other influences were inside myself. So the first album, it was very Bossa Nova directed because of the impact of the Bossa Nova. But after that, I started to give the space to the other influence, and then start to come Marvin Gaye, the jazz, and blah 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 blah. And besides that, I was always very open to new things. Never think, well, I have done this. This is what I have. No, I always want to do something new with new partners, new generations from Brazil, out of Brazil. That's my kind of soul. Let's say. So then, when I went to Los Angeles in the 75, and then I stayed from 75 until 80, then I could develop more this soul influence, because besides working with Chicago, the group Chicago, Sarah Vaughan, I started to work with Leon Ware, who was the partner of Marvin Gaye in I Want You and all those albums. And Leon and I started to write many songs, and we could put together the Brazilian feeling with the soul feeling of the black music, and that changed my music also really, and because I was open for that. So it was something that was inside myself, but that possibility to be there gave me the opportunity to put it out.
That's amazing, because when you listen to funk music from some other parts of the world, for example, in Africa, the Afrobeat, it mixed with funk, and it was created a very unique sound. Or if you go to Japan or whatever country where the funk arrived, because the funk was spread all around the world.
Yeah.
But specifically with the Brazilian sound, for me, is one of the best. And that's when you have all these sounds that you were saying, bossa nova, tropicalia, etc. And that moment when it meets funk, why do you think that funk with the Brazilian sounds fits so well when you compare it with some other rhythms from other parts of the world? What does the Brazilian music have that goes so good with the funk music, or with boogie disco and all these kind of music mostly from the States in the mid 70s or early 80s?
Yeah. I would say that first we will have the roots of the blacks what are the same. And they always go for the good rhythms, always the exciting grooves. I think that was something that make it possible. Second, I think that the Brazilian, we like very much the rhythms. Myself, this combinations of since I was very young, I was also attracted by. I was always beating something, always the time. So then the funk brings this dance, So the sensuality is also is very close about this. So could make it easier to blend, because I think it's a matter of blend things, to mixture things, So I think that's why in Brazil we had all this attraction for the rhythm, without the percussion. The wind comes when, like, let's say, when I wrote a song by the name of "Baby Don't Stop Me," that Leon Ward. This one also, but Estrelar. This rhythm is a mixture of a funk thing, but there is a baião, the rhythm from Brazil. So they blend well, because I think it's an attraction for the rhythm, for the soul, for the dance, for the sensuality. I think make it easier to happen.
I think that Brazilian people, and also black people that was working on this kind of music, they both have like this flavor, like this group. I don't know how to call it with words, because you as a musician, you know that sometimes it's hard to put some words
Yes.
for describing the music.
Yes, it's difficult.
It's difficult sometimes.
It's difficult.
But I think that that's where, as you were saying, these two rhythms blend and they meet, and they go so good.
Well, so good, man. Even after, then the DJs, né, when they start to get my songs, and even in the, I mean, Peterson, Judge Peterson in Europe, with playing my songs with the young people in the clubs, and it starts to work so well. They were listening, dancing. People, they like well, all the shows that I do, the people are listening, but they are dancing at the same time, which is good. So they would dance to Steve Wonder, to Dave Brubeck, blah, blah, blah. Then my music. And that blends so well. And after Jay-Z and Kanye West and Childish Gambino, they start to get my songs and do it, their job so well, man. So it blends so, like it was made for that. I always loved these combinations. And it sounds so good, you know. So there is something there in the soul, in the idea of, in the love for the rhythms, you know, for the grooves that make it easier.
Yeah, and now that you're saying this, that Guts Peterson was playing this in front of a lot of people, young people that was dancing there, and if you turn back, I mean, those are songs that were written and played 40, 45, 50 years ago, and they're still sounding like very, how do you say?
Up to date?
Oh, yeah, exactly. Yeah. What do you think about that? In those 70s, you were imagining that in 2026 people was going to be on the dance clubs, having fun with your music?
Never. You never know what's going to happen. Even when I wrote the Summer Samba, I wrote this song when I was 20 years old. Could I imagine that this could be a hit in the whole world? Never. Even in my neighborhood, I never could. They would like my music. You never know. But it's good that you don't know, because if you just have to make them, just make the music, man, and live what people gonna enjoy the music. That's the thing. And I could never imagine, let's say, with the song that I've mentioned, pump, pump, pam. Tem que correr, tem que suar, tem que malhar. It's played until today. When I play, let's say, the Europe, that I just made a tour in Europe of 22 shows, when I start this song, the introduction saying, bang. People are already,
of course,
they are singing, boom, boom, boom. They
sing the bass.
They sing the bass. They sing the bass. Boom, boom. I said, man, this is absolute. Of course. It's so until today, you know.
And also with the different versions, because there's a version of this band called Os Flippers.
Yeah.
You know that version that is a little bit quicker, like faster.
Quicker.
Yeah. It's good too.
It's good, but brings more to the dance. Even when I play live, I bring a little bit more faster, you know, to give the, because when you play live, the energy is a little bit different from the album. Huh?
Yeah.
People are really excited, so you have to find exactly that timing, you know, which is very good, you know.
Yeah, that's super funny, because also here in Mexico, also in some places when you play this song Estelar, as you were saying, these first notes, they know what is coming and they are ready for dancing. And for me, Estelar is maybe the definition of what Brazilian boogie is, you know, because you can find some other faster songs or with some upper BPMs, but this one is like the perfect beat, the perfect timing for what Brazilian boogie means. And that's why this song has been added in so many compilations of Brazilian boogie, because it's like the standard. And for me, it's amazing that you in some way created this standard, and that's what music owes you. you know. And I don't know if with the pass of the years, because sometimes there are some artists that when they play always their top hit, they get tired and they don't want to play it anymore. And sometimes it happened to me as a DJ when I play some songs that I say, okay, now I'm going to keep this song out from the set. But Estrelar is a song that you can always listen, enjoy, dance. I don't know if it happens the same to you after almost 50 years. Have you? Are you tired of this song?
No.
Playing it?
No. I tell you, not because I change. I try to change a little bit the arrangement, but I keep the soul of the arrangement. But I always do something different, you know, here and there in improvisation, so we can have fun. Not only me, but the band, you know. And when I see that the people are so happy, I'm happy too. But there is one song, this funny, Summer Samba, the one that I mentioned. The band said, Marcos, you have written at least 200 arrangements of this song every time that we're going to rehearse. Which going to be today? The 182, 183, 184. Because I try to, you know, this, to be happy. But I'm not getting tired, never. I love to play.
That's great. We're almost getting to the end, but talking about also those years, I don't know if in those years in the 80s you were living in Brazil at that moment, or you were living in the States?
In Brazil.
In Brazil. We know that there were some other really huge and nice bands as the Banda Black Rio or Tarantulas, even George Ben is not a band, but he was also in the boogie.
Absolutely.
What other bands could you recommend us from the Brazilian boogie of those years, 70s, 80s, that you remember listening or even playing with them, or even if you have some story with one of those artists or these bands that you remember that you can tell us or recommend as well?
Well, besides the ones that you have mentioned that they are very, 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 very strong, Hildon was important that time. Hildon is well, the people who work with the Tim Maia, the band, it was absolutely fantastic. So many times I have used them in my albums, you know. Don Salvador, incredible piano player that had the Brazilian touch, but together with the soul thing, you know. Many others that I have played that time. Azimuth, you know. Azimuth has this also this blend of the soul together. Bertrami, when he was alive, he had this mixture, you know, of everything. So I can I remember that I have worked, probably some more, but that's ones that come to my mind now.
That's perfect. We're going to play those bands in our show between your songs too. And finally, thanks so much for being here with us, Marcos. Is something that you want to tell to your Mexican fans, your Mexican audience, that they have never seen you here before? Because when you came here for the first time,
another generation,
most of us, we were just like spirits.
Yeah, it's just the spirits. Well, we are all spirits. But anyway, no, I agree with you. I think people can expect a show, as I told you, that are gonna cover the aspects of my career, my music. I have a new album that is coming out in April that I try to do all the same, to cover with all the aspects. It's difficult because I have written so many songs, but I try to bring to the stage this. The band is very strong, some of the best musicians in Brazil, and a lot of energy. That we're going to be you can know that we're going to be very happy to be playing here, performing here. So we're going to try to bring a lot of energy and happiness and, as I say, the best of my music to bring to the audience. So I just hope that I can make you happy, all of you.
No, thank you so much. We are so happy and excited that you are finally here. And, well, a last question, a bonus question. Let me go here for my bag because I have something.
All right.
I wanted to ask.
Uh-huh.
I wanted to ask you something that I have ever. I always ask myself, what is this? Tenemos aquí, en esta bolsa, tenemos a Marcos Valle de su disco homónimo de 1983.
Sí, sí.
And I wanted to ask you, what are these drinks? These colorful drinks.
Crazy colors of drinks.
What is this?
You never drink all those ones. Never drink all those ones. No. This is, I'm going to explain to you. When I wrote the song Estrelar, the song was in the album, but with no lyrics. We are recording the album.
Only instrumental.
On this song, we had already
Stellar, you mean.
we had the basic tracks already.
Okay.
It was good, man. This strong. But the lyrics would not come to the. Suddenly, at the end of the album, my brother Paulo Sérgio, that come to this, said, we have to write this song because everybody wants to keep it in the album.
Yeah.
So energy, and we put the sound high. I said energy, and then energy brings to exercise, to move, to do exercise. So the idea, it was to bring to the gover health, Marcos Valle health. So with the drinks. So they didn't bring the wine that I used. So they brought these funny things, with different colors. It works, it's nice the cover, but you don't bring this. Don't bring this drink. No.
Unas bebidas extrañas.
Unas bebidas extrañas.
De colores divertidos. But what drinks they were? Like caipirinhas or what?
We're trying to make up caipirinhas, but sometimes coconut and melon, melancia, melon. I don't know, goiaba, guava, but the strange thing is spinach.
Spinach.
It was not
Healthy.
Exactly alcohol. It was more,
Yeah.
I think of health. That's the idea.
Wow.
But
Nice story.
it became so. People love that.
Yeah, it's classic. For me, this album, the record, to recognize it is like, oh yeah, the Marcos Valle record that has the different colorful drinks on the cover.
Drinks.
Yeah.
The juice.
And then also your look. I mean, you look like you're in a nice party because you have like this color is nice. You're like ready for the party.
I always use this. Since I was a surfer. Since I was a surfer in Brazil when I was.
You were a surfer?
I was a surfer.
Wow.
Yeah, for a long.
In the cold waters of Rio.
Yes. In Rio de Janeiro. Then I never was a good one. I thought just a regular one.
Yeah.
But I love surfing in the summer and everything. So I always used this, and the fans would give me all the time. These things. So until today I use some colors.
Ya se la saben, si quieren darle un regalo a Marcos Valle.
I'm not asking. I'm not asking.
No, pero vaya, un regalito. Tráiganle a Marcos Valle un collar. Marcos, thank you so much for being here with
my
us.
pleasure.
A pleasure, and see you on your show
Muchas gracias.
tomorrow.
Muchas gracias.
Muchas gracias. También gracias a toda la gente acá de Pistilo, a la gente de Jazz is Dead, al buen Dante, a la gente de Many Moods y a todos ustedes.
Sí.
Recuerden que esto es el Makossa Disco a través de 90.9 y a través del canal de YouTube de Many Moods. Marcos.
Okay.
Adiós.
Chao. Adiós.
Valió.